Hello everybody and welcome to a new thing that we're doing on the JB Gaming channel today, where we're going to be looking at a bit of Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. Now, I'm recording this on the 1st of November and it should be out today. So this is coming out a couple of days before release, but we managed to get hold of it early, so we thought we'd come and give it you today. So far, my initial impressions of this game is it's actually really quite a good game. It's different to what I thought it would be. However, some of the things are the same. I thought it was going to be very, very much like Halo in the fact where it was very futuristic, where it's not as such. Just to let you know, I am recording this commentary after the original video was released, so if something's not synced up correctly, I'm very sorry. We got it late yesterday night, so we recorded the footage itself, but I'm doing it the next morning. So I've just spawned myself into a game here. It's Team Deathmatch. I'm using the BAL 27, and when I say the actual video, the gameplay itself is recorded by my brother. But I mean, it's hard to explain what the game is. I mean, most people have played Call of Duty before, so I imagine old Call of Duties in the future, and you've got this Call of Duty. I mean, it's very, very, very similar. The maps, I have to say, are a big improvement of Call of Duty Ghost maps. A lot of them are a lot better. Not played through them all yet, not seen them all, but the vast majority of them are very good. BAL 27 is an excellent weapon. It's very accurate, a good rate of fire. Just seems to be a very, very good gun. There's a couple of things that I have issues with. They probably will get sorted eventually. One, you will see later that the spawning system is like every other COD there has ever been made. It is very, very poor. It's an improvement on Ghosts, however, you can still run into that trap of you spawning and you walking around a corner and you get shot by a guy just because the spawning system's off and it's managed to put you next to an enemy. So, and as you can see, a lot the graphics on this are very, very nice in HD. This is being played on the Xbox One, so this is a next gen version. Whether you can get it on 360 and PS3, I'm unaware. I think you probably will be able to, but I'm not entirely sure. Yeah. Chat as well. So in-game chat seems to be a little bit off. Whether they'll fix this in the future, probably will do. However, as you'll see later in the video, there'll be a name popping up on screen, quite large, and there'll be no sound to it at all. And that's not because of me. That is because there was literally no sound to that person's voice at that point. So I'm not entirely sure what was happening. We didn't have mute players on, so I'm not sure. But yeah, good, very, very good game. You seem to rank up extremely quickly though in the first parts of this game. Now, I don't know if that's just because the levels are very, very low for it, which is probably, but the actual rank up themselves seems to be quite short. So whether that's something that they'll change in the future, or whether that's something that was specifically in-game for that reason, I'm not sure. But, and also silly things like that can happen when you're not paying attention. There's a prime example of the new exosuits that they've introduced into Call of Duty, and there's different sets of them. And you should have seen him running across the ground, and he sort of looked invisible, but sort of had like a blue outline, and that is an exosuit. Now there's different classes. One makes you go quicker. There's one that mutes your footsteps, I think, and then there's another one. I'm not entirely sure. I can't remember them fully. Now, I'm a bit skeptical about whether these are just going to be used too much, and if people are just going to use them so much that they're going to get like a thermal scope is very much unneeded, and people use them for the sake of using them when they can't actually be good at the game and they have to use them to be able to kill people. But that's something that we'll see when the game is officially released and is out for a few days. Currently, there is very, very, very few games to connect to in COD Deathmatch. I think there was 2 potential games when we loaded this up, and we loaded this up about 6:15, 20 past 6, I think it was, or something like this in the evening. And bearing in mind it was Halloween, but there was 2 potential games for Team Deathmatch. Obviously that will increase when the game is released, but it's nice to see actually that there is quite a few people that have got it before actual release date. So yeah. Unfortunately for some Call of Duty fans, they have removed things like tomahawks and what else was it? Tomahawk and throwing knives, and they've replaced them with this new grenade launcher thing that attaches to your wrist, and that's sort of like the base level that you can get, because that's what we're allowed, level 4, and that's what we've got. And you can see everyone on that board is actually pretty low level apart. There's a couple of 26s on there, but with it being such it's not even out yet, there's not going to be levels. Now, as you can see, then we were using the Bell 27, which is an excellent weapon. And these are your different perks. So at the minute you've got lightweight and low profile, blind eye and peripherals, and toughness, hardwired and blast suppressor. These are your exo abilities here. So you've got exo shield overclock, exo mute, and exo stim. So they're your different exo suits. So depending on which one you pick depends on what your ability is, if you like. I have a bit of a problem with player customization. I don't know if they'll show it in this part, but we'll probably show it later. I know we've definitely looked at it. No, we'll show it next game. But whether it will increase or not, the customization of your character itself seems to be quite low. Which, fair enough, it is not released yet, but you would like to think that there's no even like slots shut for adding more customizations onto it. It's just a page, and it's about half filled. You'll see it in a minute when we get to it. But we're just going to go to another game now. This is on the Riot map, and this is playing on COD Deathmatch. This map has to be probably my favourite map. It's very, very close. It's not. It is generally a nice map. So now we've changed gun now to the. In fact, before I say anything, can you see at the top there it says the King's Ledge, and like the little speaker. That's obviously a player speaking. We got no sound, and that's not because our headsets were bad, and that's not because it wasn't coming through our Xbox headset, and it wasn't coming through my monitoring headset at all. Just no sound through from them. So whether they weren't speaking or whether something's wrong, we're not entirely sure. Now we've changed guns to, I think this is an ARK. I think so. Now this is a 3-shotter, as you can hear, which in some ways are better because you do conserve a bit more energy. However, getting out them bullets that are needed to be out quickly isn't. You have to really bash your trigger in, which can be quite annoying. Now you'll see a lot of these maps are really centred around one specific point, and I think that is just because that's where the two teams met when obviously starting the game. And it always seems to be on this one, in that room. They'll all have specific ones. All have specific places. Just because of that's how Call of Duty games work. There'll always be an area where two of you collide, and that's where you'll do most of the fighting. Now we've changed back to the BAL 27. Oh, is it 27 or 72? I'll find out in a minute. But we have changed classes back. However, it will change after. Oh no, it has changed already. So yeah. Where was I? Yeah, there's always been a place where the two teams collide, and they'll always have the vast majority of their conflict in one area, which is nice, and that's always been a good thing about Call of Duty. See, I just got we were promoted to rank 5 then for being killed, so I'm not entirely sure what's happening. But on the right hand side above our ammo, there are your 3 kill streaks. Now these seem to be at the minute really, really low priced for what they do. As in a UAV's is that 300? I'm not entirely sure, my screen's a bit small. 300, and then you've got a sentry turret at 650, and then you've got a drone above that. I'm not entirely sure, I can't tell what that is. But they seem to be extremely low priced for what they are. You only need a couple of kills. You only need. It doesn't even work on kills. It works on points. I mean, I think the Call of Duty's worked on points before. I'm not entirely sure. Points aren't carried over from death to death, which is nice. Otherwise, people would be getting Jones every 2 minutes.
Friendly XS-1 Vulcan inbound.
And they seem to be very, very, very strange care packages as well. Not care packages. Strange kill streaks. As in, on this you can actually get perks for your kill streaks. Which sounds a little bit strange, and I find it a bit strange. I don't think they've ever done this before. But you can add things like, with your sentry turret, I think we have a better footage in a bit, but you can get a sentry turret, and you can add rockets to your sentry turret. So instead of it firing out normal rounds and bullets, this fires out missiles, which seems a little bit overpowered considering how cheap the actual upgrade for it is. It's only something like 100 cost, I think. It might be it's either 100 or 600, and there is a big difference, but we will see in a bit what that is. The sound effects on this game are pretty good as well. As you could hear then, there was the sound of the water onto the floor, which sounded really, really nice. Especially with the fact that next-gen consoles now have like really nice audio anyway. It is very, very nice. Whether you'll be able to hear that is another story. But trust me, it does sound really nice. Now, unfortunately, we weren't able to get a Day Zero edition of Call of Duty. We don't understand why, but they just said they didn't have them available. And now, I don't know whether... She did say something about not having any in the country. So, I live in the UK. So, whether they don't have any in, I don't think that's true. I think they probably do, but they just don't have enough to serve some game shops. So the places where we pre-ordered from didn't actually get theirs in. So we've managed to get ours at a just a standard Call of Duty Advanced Warfare edition. I don't know whether this is going to be the same with all, but the box is very, very, very nice looking. I'll put an overlay picture of it now, but it's very, very nice. That's probably one of the nicest ones we've had. It reminds me very much of Modern Warfare 3. which isn't necessarily a bad thing, because Modern Warfare 3 did have a nice box. Right, so as you can see then, we just unlocked some more goodies there. We seem to unlock quite a lot that game. I'm not quite entirely sure why. So, it is a BAL 27, not 72. So now, looking back through our perks, make sure we've got any new ones. We did have that blast suppressor from the last game, which just basically makes you invisible on minimap when performing exo moves. We've now got a foregrip for our BAL 27, which makes that recoil less, which is nice. Not that it has massive recoil in the first place, but it's nice to change that. I think we're going to be looking at Scorestreaks now, if I remember correctly. Yeah, we are. So look, if you look on here, you've got loads of different ones. So you get things like here is the perk section. You'll see on this one. You see the perk section. So you can add different perks depending on the thing that you pick. So a remote turret is 550 and a warbird's 850. So that's obviously points. So we have the remote turret, the UAV, and the warbird on in a minute. And there's your different things, and there is extra time, so UAV lasts longer. There's loads of different ones depending on how much you want to cost, how much you want to pay. So this is a streak module cost, and there's a cost. Now, I can't figure out where them two are coming from and what they are, what cost it is. But both times we've clicked one, we've managed to get it. So we must have had enough points for it, but I don't know where the points are coming from themselves. And there we've got the rockets for the rocket to turn it into a rocket turret. There's also a little rippable, about the fourth one along on the top row. That seems so overpowered that basically allows you to turn a sentry gun into a portable minigun, which seems very, very overpowered. But as we said, we'll see what that's like. There's loads of different ones. Whether they'll increase these in the future, I don't know, but there seems to be quite a large list here. So, there's also support, which keeps your points that's created throughout your death, which can be useful, and is very reminiscent of old Call of Duties where they used to have assault and support classes, killstreak classes, where it'd either keep your, if you were sort of like new to the game or you died quite a lot, kept your score through it, so you'd be able to get care packages in the future and other kill streaks in the future. Or you could have assault, which didn't, once you died they were wiped off. Here is the customization page, and as I said, as you can see, there's only like not many on each page, which seems a bit odd to me. And I don't know if I really like it. Obviously, I hope they add more in the future, but we'll see. So here's where you can change all your thing. There's our little bit of ratios there. Obviously, things like that. We've only just started this, so we're not going to have anything. We've not got a COD account set up or anything. There is some new game modes, I believe. I can't think if Upload was in the last one. If it was, tell me. I don't think it was. Or Hardpoint. Saying I didn't really play a lot of Call of Duty Ghosts, so it wasn't my sort of game. But, and then there's, obviously, then there's your classic games without your exo movement, so you can't have your, like, your jump feet on and things like that. So, overall, I don't find it a bad game. Obviously now we're having a bit of trouble with games, so you have to find a couple of match players. But there's just a couple of little things that, you know, Activision needs to sort out, and Call of Duty themselves. Well, not just Activision, it's Activision, Sledgehammer, according to this, Raven, and High Moon, sorry. Well, anyway, just the things that Call of Duty needs to sort out in a minute. Spawning systems, which have always been bad, but hopefully they can make them a little bit better, and perhaps nuking some of the weapons, potentially, and also some of the killstreak perks, because there seems to be a lot available, and I think quite a few people are going to be like changing into the rocket ones and stuff. Also, exo movements, they may need to nerf a bit, just for the fact of there's people. I think people are going to be using invisibility a little bit too much, and it's going to start getting quite annoying soon. But there's our first impressions of Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. Hopefully I'll be able to do some more gameplay in the future. I'm thinking about potentially doing a walkthrough of the career, but I'll see how, if we can get that sorted. But other than that, I thank you very much for watching. Release is the 4th of November 2014. And we will see you later. So, bye.